paper leak scandal is not unique to India. England, for that matter, has faced its own problems in trying to keep secondary school exams fair. As recently as just last month, it was revealed that thousands of teachers across the UK had been caught cheating to improve their pupils' test results. Take a look at this report.
A Freedom of Information request found that 2,300 teachers and staff from secondary schools were accused of providing inappropriate assistance to pupils. Now, what's interesting is many of the students were treated much more harshly than the teachers. Around 1,000 students were disqualified from the qualification, whereas 581 teachers were given a warning. 113 were given more training, and only 81 were told that they couldn't be involved in an examination role. Now, Ofqual, which is England's examination watchdog, says it is reviewing whether teachers should have any role to play in setting examination papers. And that came after two prominent public schools, Eton and Winchester College, had teachers assisting their pupils. Mandy Clark, WION, London.
All right, that's what the state of affairs is like in the UK. Let's also speak a little bit about India's neighbour, Bangladesh. According to many reports, paper leakage incidents have been spreading like a disease, to quote those reports, in Dhaka, across Bangladesh as well. Look at this report that's been filed by our Bangladesh Bureau Chief Saad Hamadi, who tells us about the education reform system in Bangladesh.
Immediately after Bangladesh's independence, the government nationalized all the private schools. It was in the early 80s that it opened up for denationalization and subsequently gave into three mediums of education: Bengali, English and Arabic medium. The Bengali medium education curriculum is governed by the government itself in the country, but the English medium education is governed by the British examination boards and overseen by the British Council in Dhaka. The Arabic medium has two subsectors: the Aliyah madrasas, which are governed by the government, and the Qawmi madrasas, which are managed privately. There is also the non-formal education for those who cannot afford the formal education. This non-formal education is handled and managed by the NGOs in the country. But the three formal education within the country already complicates the future of the students passing out of them because of the less and more in this education system. While some have more opportunities once they graduate from this medium, the others have less. In Dhaka, Saad Hamadi, WION.
Let's now go straight across live to Mandy Clark, our UK Bureau Chief, who's joining us from London, and also Saad Hamadi joining us from Dhaka, our Bangladesh Bureau Chief. Coming to you first, Mandy, as your report established, the UK also has its own reasons to worry when it comes to paper leakage incidents. Tell us a little bit about the measures that have been considered by the government or are in the pipeline to ensure that these paper leaks are tackled.
Well, certainly it's in a review process right now, but it was quite a shock to find really established, well-known public schools that are famous internationally, like Eton College, being involved in these scandals. There is mass pressure from schools here in the UK to reach certain standards, and there is a separate board called Ofsted that goes around to make sure schools reach a certain standard, and they also mark them if they're failing. So there is impetus by teachers who have maybe questionable morals that want to see their pupils really do well because they will get a higher standing. Ofqual, who's responsible for these examinations, certainly are looking to pull those teachers away from creating those exam papers so there will be less chance for cheating. We'll only know their decision in the months to come.
Okay, stay with me, Mandy. Let's also get in a quick update from Saad Hamadi joining us. According to many reports, Saad, as I said earlier, paper leakage incidents have been spreading like a disease across Bangladesh. There have been many incidents of late as well, and one of the 8 recommendations that have been given out includes surveillance of all those officials who are involved in conducting examinations. A lot remains to be seen on ground, though. As we've been discussing, implementation remains a problem. In India, for example, one measure being considered is electronically coded papers. As always, there are several gaps that remain in these measures being brought into fruition on ground.
Well, the suggestions are manifold. Just like you've mentioned, the electronically coded means of examination papers or the question papers are also being pondered in Dhaka too, and particularly in the education board in Bangladesh, the government education board. But none of these have come into enforcement. And at the same time, the traditional way the exams are taking place, the surveillance that is being talked about, it's not being very efficient, given that this incidence of leaks of question papers have been happening for years and for decades. And that's something even the Prime Minister herself has said. But she's also defended her ministers and secretaries, saying that they themselves are directly never involved. And what needs to be found out is the route from where it's coming. And that's something that has not really been reached up to in all these years, even after the leaks.
All right, that's all we have time for at the moment. Saad and Mandy, appreciate you joining us and also for giving our viewers a sense of how this problem is definitely not unique to India. Several instances being reported across Bangladesh, across UK as well. But the measures, again, remain common throughout these countries and throughout these cases. But implementation, again, suffering on ground.